I love Charles's apathetic wave at the end of that. It's just,
Dude, I love the entire thing. The stupid waves you give me and yourself. It's great.
Yeah, I love the whole.
Oh, well, we're back. It's another week, and it is time for the last panel to actually do something with an actual comic book. So this was something that I wanted to do for a while after I originally read this like a year ago. When I read like the first issue, I was like, damn, dude, this is pretty good. Because we'll get into everything, but this book is kind of, I don't want to say special to me, but like the artist Jason Fabok, I have a interesting relationship with, and he went away after 3 Jokers from his DC time. He went away, and then I was like, man, where's he been? What's he doing? And then whenever this team got announced, I was like, awesome. You know, like, this is fantastic. I'm super happy about it. Great. But yeah, so we're gonna get into Rook Exodus by Geoff Johns and Jason Fabok with colors by Brad Anderson. And yeah, I believe, is it Rob Lee does the lettering. But we're gonna go around the table here and say hello to everybody. Bob, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It was a busy week, but it's always a busy week because I work 7 days a week, so it doesn't matter. It's always busy. But it was a good week, pretty smooth. Looking forward to Thanksgiving. I actually get a couple of days off next week, so that'll be nice. Probably take some time off from my channel, except for Dad's turn to talk for a few days too, just to kind of recharge. But yeah, everything's good, man.
You seen any decent movies recently?
Dude, well, I haven't seen anything new. Okay. I was going to go see Wicked with my fiance, but she wasn't available to go see it, and I don't want to go see it alone. So
are you sure you don't want to go see that by yourself, Bob?
No, not by myself. And I really did like the first film, but it's not a movie that I would go to by myself.
Okay.
So, but I did just do a rewatch of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because we're going to be reviewing that on Dad's Turn to Talk for our Thanksgiving episode.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I actually just watched that not too many days ago, actually. So, Gray, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be talking about something I don't hate. So, hell yeah. Surrounded by some positivity around here. Things are good, man.
How's life in the jar of mustard?
Pretty good. I also didn't go see Wicked too, so me and Bob have that in common. Yeah, other than that, things are going good, man. Nothing to complain about, and I'm trying.
I watched you and Charles do your live stream for your ranking of the Predator and Alien franchise. That was awesome. If you haven't seen it, go to Willis Greedy's channel and check it out. It's very fun. It's a fun time. What's funny is like it's so weird how like on the picks that you had, Gray, that I agreed with you, that other people, I totally agreed with you, but on the picks that I did agree with Charles, I totally agreed with him and disagree. It was like I had a mixture of both. It was very funny.
I am a stan of the Alien franchise. Like, I understand that I have an appreciation for Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection that nobody else on this planet has. I get it. I'm weird, man. Okay.
I like Resurrection myself. I thought Resurrection was fun.
Yeah, there's some really interesting scenes in there, man. I don't think they're just total waste. Yes, we should.
For sure.
Warren, how do you rank Alien versus Predator though? They're all F tier movies.
So that's the deal.
How do you rank?
Do you like hard R or do you like PG-13? Because I gotta go. PG-13 is worse. Plus, it's Paul W.S. Anderson, the guy who's ruined every video game property that he's gotten his hands on. Man, I absolutely hate that. So yeah, for me, AVP is just a little bit below AVPR. At least you got a cool character, Wolf, the Enforcer one. That being said, still not a good movie, but I appreciated the R. They had to steer out of that PG-13 ditch so hard they put it in the title. That's
very true. That is so 100% true. And I'd have to rewatch a lot of those. I actually just watched Predator and Predator 2. And as much as I like Predator 2, there's just some very weird audio editing choices in that movie. There is like a couple of times where it is a busy street and crazy shit's going on, and you hear Danny Glover whispering. And it's just odd. He's just like saying, what he says and just whatever.
It would have been so much better if they would have just incorporated Mel Gibson and turned Predators 2 into Predators versus Lethal Weapon. It would have been
Weapon Predator. Yeah.
I
would have watched that.
Fighting the Predator at the end. Like,
look at that.
I mean, I know what I like. What can I say?
He knows what he's not a complicated man.
I like the hard R in the Predator series. It's just me.
Warren, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
I just received some pictures and updates from you, which I was very happy to see. So
yeah, I'm up.
Let everybody know.
I'm up to page 19 now on lettering for issue 4. Now these are all just me getting the letters on there. They'll be tweaked with edits, and I got 2 editors that I go through. They'll go through and make sure that my English is readable and my words are somewhat correct and along those lines. But yeah, it's coming along very quickly. I'm very excited. It's just part of the. I didn't even game stream last night because I'm like, well, I can game stream or I can get like 10 pages done. So I just, I'm gonna do 10 pages again and just hammer those out.
I mean, it looked great. It looks great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Looks fantastic. Everything looks really solid. And I am very much looking forward to reading the whole thing when it's done. And let's just give Warren a round of applause, man. I mean, he's been working on this for how long? How long?
2016, I quit my job to follow art. And then about a year later, I started on the comic book. So around 2017 to now, I've been trying to figure out how to make comic books. And now I have 200 pages of Singin' Joe. I've got
awesome
2 other one-shots. I've got a couple of anthology stories underneath my belt. I've done well over, I want to say close to 400 pages of art for comic books as of right now.
That is a lot. That is a lot of interior work. That's oh boy.
Yeah. I usually don't give shit to too many people who are slow when they're doing interiors because I understand the grind.
Right. And that's very true. So we're gonna go over first. We're just gonna talk a little bit about the book, what you guys thought about it. Bob, it might be a little bit different for you because I mean I know you had used to read comic books, but it's not something that you would do all the time now, But I felt that this was a book that, in my opinion, that anybody can latch onto because it's like you've seen a movie or you've heard a story that's maybe not super similar, but in the same vein. Anybody can relate to it. It's something that's really out there. But in the same front, it's got some of the best artwork, I think, around in comics. I think Jason Fabok is probably in my top 3 artists that is making comic books right now. So we'll just go around and talk a little bit about your experience reading it and what you thought about it. Bob, what did you think?
Well, I think it's interesting that you mentioned about how you could almost relate it to a movie because as I was reading it, I was thinking this would make a really good, cool movie because it's just the concept of it and the way the visuals are. I think this is something that would be really interesting. It takes place on another planet, so you've got that sci-fi element there. You've got the costumes the outfits that they wear, the wardens and they got the helmets and they're controlling the animals and all that stuff. So there's all this sci-fi element there. I think that's really kind of cool. And I think that would make for a cool movie. And then the story itself, I thought was pretty interesting. I mean, you've got the main character, he, was from Earth. He goes over here for a fresh start and becomes one of these wardens to work for this group who then ends up disappearing. And, they're all basically left to fend for themselves. And what you get is basically what the rest of the story is what happened in the aftermath. And And of course, there's that kind of reveal at the end there about the company having deserted them and stuff that turns out they actually did send somebody back. So overall, I thought this was really cool. I thought it was a very interesting story. Like you said, I haven't reading comics is not something that I do very often anymore. Did a lot when I was younger. I used to collect a lot of Superman and Batman comics and stuff. In fact, I still got a bunch of them all in storage, but I can't even remember the last time I read a comic. Well, so this is now the last one I've read. So I thought it was very interesting. I was really digging the story, and you had actually messaged me earlier asking if I was able to access the book. And I mentioned to you that I thought the artwork was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There were a few different scenes that just blew me away. One is when they get to the Oasis.
Oh, dude.
And you see everything like that distance shot from it. I thought was really, really cool looking. And then of course, a lot of the close-ups of the characters themselves were really good. And then there was another one that really stuck out, and that was where I can't remember the name of that vehicle that what was the name of the villain? Upsaw or Up, what was his name?
Ursaw?
Ursaw, thank you. I almost said Upsaw. Ursaw, that vehicle that he was driving, there's like a close-up shot of it that just looks really, really cool. So yeah, I was just impressed with this. Again, this is not something that I normally do, but after reading this, I'd probably read another edition of this because I was digging the story and I was really impressed with the artwork.
So you could say you enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable experience. Okay.
Yeah, it really
That's
was.
awesome.
I think somebody who doesn't read a whole lot of comics could pick this up and still enjoy it.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Gray, what did you think, man? I know this is something that I had been talking to you about for quite some time. I was pushing you on this for a while. So what was your overall thoughts?
You know, I do want to get into my overall thoughts, but something Bob said kind of just triggered something in me. Bob was saying he was having trouble thinking of like the last comic that he read. I was too, until I kind of put two and two together, and I was just thinking, what is the last comic I read? And it turns out it's Sig and Joe, and you guys should know about this because you guys can read it too. It is available over at Global Comics, so make sure that you guys check it out and get caught up because it sounds like we're going to have a new episode out, a new issue somewhat in the near future. So you want to be up to date on that. But man, it was just such kind of a fun throwback to read Rook Exodus. Just so I'm somewhat familiar with Geoff Johns' work. I wasn't as familiar with Jason Fabok, but man, getting an Image comic. It has been a long time since I've read an Image comic. It's kind of a throwback. I remember loving a whole bunch of them. Some of the original ones. But it's been a minute since I went ahead and actually read one start to finish. And man, this intrigues me. There's just so much that's for me, it's like the perfect mix of sci-fi and fantasy. It's like that sci fantasy that just it hits the right spot for me. Generally with like hard sci-fi, it's like, okay, I get it. There's machines. Now you're going to teach me the science. And with fantasy, it's like, okay, magic. Like I get it. But this just kind of has that perfect mixture, kind of like Star Wars in a way. That's space wizards with swords. I dig that. But this is a little bit different. This is technology that does the other fun magic stuff, or fantasy, if you will, the whole warging thing. As someone who just absolutely loves animals, it has always been kind of a, I guess, dream of mine to be able to actually like connect with the animal, perhaps see from the animal's eyes and use it as kind of an extension of myself. Just man, to be able to see kind of a sci-fi take on that, I absolutely dig it. And then mixed with this amazing art, just man, it kind of takes that concept to another level and in a way that I haven't seen before. Bob kind of mentioned that it seems very cinematic, and he's right. Like there are certain I don't know if you want to call it like vibes that it's getting, but there's some Omega Man vibes coming from this. So that would be like Last Man on Earth, Omega Man, or God, now I'm forgetting the Will Smith one that is the exact same thing, where it's like the zombie vampire plague thing. But it kind of gives you those vibes. Like there is literally the scene from Omega Man where Charlton Heston's just watching a movie by himself because everybody is just gone. Man, I dig that. That's what I'm really into, and kind of my weird. I don't know. I'm always kind of drawn to those. Just so yeah, for me, it absolutely hits on so many different levels, and then it's got this heavy but tasteful religious overtone that's going on throughout it too.
Mhm.
I mean, it's got the title of Exodus. You know, there is kind of this arc idea that's going on. We're going to a new world, and then there is again another Exodus. But you know, there's other things like there's this certain scarecrow scene where it may or may not have a Jesus pose going on. I dig a lot of the kind of tones that they're working with here. And man, to have like this otherworldly planet that's kind of terraformed and colonized and then purchased by this mega corporation who's calling themselves what is it, Better World? Just man, all of these ideas they hit. It's like elements from a lot of other things. Like you're getting Wayland Yutani vibes from this, but man, just kind of the way that they're putting it together, just it works for me.
That's it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I thought one of the key points for me was the dichotomy between when you meet the other wardens compared to what Rook is going through at the beginning of the book.
Yeah,
it's very interesting because it's like he almost doesn't have a handle on it. He's at odds with the birds. And you think like, oh, he's got the stupid birds, you know, like they don't do, but then you realize how important the birds are. And I thought that was done really well.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not just simply that, like now you control an animal, but I don't know, the effects go both ways. And, you know, it's kind of based on your boot camp and your training, but it's also based on a connection, and it doesn't just go one way. It just, man, I dig the way that they're kind of able to do this whole working effect.
This screams of MSK. This screams MSK. So if you don't want to post on your main account there, Misk the man, you be quiet now.
But yeah, also the artwork, just amazing. It gives like heavy Doom vibes as well. I just
100%.
I dig everything that this thing is doing. But I'm sure there's more to talk about. But man, I just thank you for kind of putting this book in my world, because I think I would have just ignored this, and man, it's a damn shame. I didn't realize that this book, so the first 6 of them put together, was just out in April of this year. But man, I've really been sleeping on this one. I dig it a lot.
So what happens is like with Warren, when he talked about, you know, certain guys taking a long time for their interiors, Jason Fabok is notoriously slow. So the way that this book comes out is when the arc is done, that's when it comes out. You'll get it in consecutive months, as opposed to we got issue 1 here and then 3 months later issue 2, or when those 6 are done, you get it in 6 months. So we waited like 4 or 5 months for the next issues to come out, which 7 and 8 have come out, and they have up to 12 done. So once 12 is done, depending on how far the book goes, we'll have to wait a little while before the next arc comes out. So I mean, it sucks because you kind of want to read it month to month, but I'm happy that they're not doing like what they do with Jim Lee, what kind of was happening with Batman right now, because the Hush 2 was supposed to end the old Batman arc, and then Matt Fraction's Batman was supposed to start afterwards. Literally, there's still another Jim Lee book to come out, and they're already on issue 3 of Matt Fraction's Batman. So in consecutive months, you have Absolute Batman, which is on like 13 or 14, then regular Batman, which is on 162 from Jim Lee, and then you have Matt Fraction's mainline Batman, which is on issue 3. It's very confusing. It's ridiculous, and I just wish that they would wait, but they didn't want to wait for Jim Lee. They gave him like a year to finish 6 books, and he just couldn't do it.
I think the next one's delayed, if I read correctly, like the next Long Halloween book. But I read the first couple, and it wasn't worth waiting on anyway.
Yeah, the Hush ones, it's not that great.
Or the Hush ones, yeah.
The interiors are cool. There's some, but the story isn't that good. Like Jason Fabok is someone that I will always wait on. Like I first read his stuff when New 52, which I still think is underrated. I know a lot of people don't like New 52, but like the Detective Comics on New 52 was phenomenal. You had Ivan Reyes, Tony S. Daniel, and Jason Fabok. Like those were the artists for that book. Like Jesus Christ. And it was, I saw his stuff and I was like, damn, he draws really, really well. And I just fell in love with his art. But Warren, what did you think about Rook Exodus Volume 1?
I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I love doing these review shows because it actually forces me to sit down and take time to read the stack of books I've got growing. And this one, I grabbed the graphic novel and I read it, and as a guy who's trying to write his own stories and make comics, I really appreciated how it shows you a glimpse of this world in one incident, but it doesn't go all heavy with exposition. It doesn't try to explain everything down. It gives you just enough where you know what's going on and you get to see the whole picture, and you're wanting more because the world is so rich that they're building. Geoff Johns does a really good job of not going heavy into exposition and giving us a solid story that's just kind of like could be by itself or ongoing. And it was just really well done. Dialogue is great. The pacing's great. Artwork is just beautiful. You guys have all said, I can't agree more on that. I really appreciated, as someone who's trying to learn how to be a writer, to see how you can introduce this huge in-depth world and then not actually have to go into any kind of exposition. We go right off the beginning into it, and by the end of by the first couple pages, enough what's going on, and then by the end of the first arc, you're hungry for more. So yeah, it was a really good read. I highly recommend it to there, and it's just top notch. And I'm like, video game, movie, TV series, Netflix, throw someone $200 million and let's make this thing. Like, let's do this.
So I'm not sure which one of the series has been picked up, but I know I'd have to look it up, but I know he's in talks with somebody. It might be even Netflix. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it's for Rook Exodus, but I know Tony Daniel and maybe it's Scott Snyder. I can't remember if it is. Noctera is another great book that I think is in talks with getting a series. And what's cool is he has this whole line called, Geoff Johns has the whole line called Ghost Machine. And there's a couple books that I don't care for in it, but most of them, like
was there what Geiger one of them?
Geiger's one of them, which is great because it's Gary Frank art, and it's just him. Geoff Johns and Gary Frank together are just phenomenal. And then there's Hyde Street, which is like a horror book.
That one, I've read a couple of those.
Dude, they're so good. Good. And that's Johns and Ivan Reyes. There's Red Coat, which is interesting. It's about a soldier from the English, time, like when the Redcoats are coming, and he's like time traveling and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's pretty cool. There's the Rockefellers, which is like a family book, and there's one I can't remember the name of it for some reason, and it's really interesting. It's about a robot that was in World War II or Vietnam or something like that. And the soldier who survived out of that company starts writing a comic based on the robot, right? And his times and all this stuff. And it becomes like a huge thing in the newspaper, because this is back when newspapers were a thing. And out of the blue, one day, the robot just shows up on his doorstep, and he's all old. He's old as shit. And Junkyard Joe, that's what it's called, Junkyard Joe. That's a really cool book as well. So if you can get I really like Hyde Street, Junkyard Joe, Rook, and Geiger. Those are the ones that I like. And what's cool is like he has everything planned out. Like when you look at the back of some of the books, he has like the whole timeline for what they call the unnamed war. They have like the full timeline of where all these books take place. So it's kind of cool. Like, and I know
and they're all in the same universe.
I don't know if they're all in. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to check on that and make sure. I don't want to say yes and then be incorrect, but I believe like Rook, Geiger, Hyde Street, and so okay. It looks like it's Geiger, Redcoat, and Junkyard Joe are in one specific thing called the Unnamed War. Rook Exodus is by itself. Hyde Street and Devour are together, and Rockefellers and Hornsby and Halo are together. Now, whether or not they take place all in the same universe or the same time, I don't know. That I don't know. I'd have to look at the actual timeline in the last book. But he's really big on like telling you stuff like that. Like, yeah, at the end of the first volume, they have like for all the animals and all the wardens, they have the wildlife grid, which is like where they exist and who controls what, and to the characters that we've been introduced to, because there's more. There's a whole ton more in the second arc. There's a whole shitload more people that are around. So yeah, we'll take a look here and just show people some of the artwork that's in these books, because it's phenomenal. Like, this stuff is great, man. This is Rook right here. This is Swine, and for some reason I can never remember her name. And
Direwolf, wasn't it?
Yeah, Direwolf. That's it. Yeah, it's Direwolf. And then we have Ursa, and then what was his name? Why can't I remember names? I'm terrible with names. Carapace. Carapace.
Yeah.
He
I'm
was
terrible
he
with
was
names too. I just do nicknames. Crow guy, wolf girl, pig
Turtle
dude,
guy,
bear guy.
Well, and then they tease so many others that we hopefully will get to see in the future. But man,
I can say
really
yes, you
interesting
do.
ones.
There are 7 and 8 have come out, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 new ones that you meet in those 2 issues. I believe
because
so.
the ones they were showing looked really interesting with some of their animal groups and how they were using their powers.
So Reynard the fox, Arachne the spider, Hardhead the ram, Matterhorn the goat, the locust. Come on, I needs to see the locust.
Locust
and then,
dude, spider guy.
There's the deer. Like, how is there like the samurai deer dude? Like, that dude looks awesome.
It's super important. I can tell you that. And he or she, whatever. It's a badass. It's fucking. You'll see. You'll have to see. And anybody who's in the chat, if you want to join the Lapsed Comic Fan Discord, there's a library of books going to be added in there, and you could follow along with whatever book we are reviewing on at whatever time. Like, usually Fridays shows, this is gonna be this is just something special we're doing. Most of the time it's going to be talking about like movies and like tier lit, like stuff like that. But there will be either like a Monday or a Tuesday show where I talk about comics, and me and Gray are going to have another show once a week where we talk about comedians, and we're going to do a whole bunch of different crap. But so the crux of the first chapter basically is like introducing us to the world, but also introducing us to Rook and Rook's issue with wanting to get off the planet. He has built a rocket ship to get off this planet, and he wants to just get the fuck away. He wants to get out of here. And he does not want to stay. He's got a friend whose name is Swine, and he goes to visit Swine, and Swine controls a giant warthog pig person, and they have, would you say they have a pretty good friendship? And Swine was, I think he wants Swine to come, but Swine doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like he just doesn't want to leave. And that's when they run into a giant bear. So you can also see that the wildlife on this planet is not the same size as wildlife on our planet. It is definitely.
And there's still kind of a mystery about that. Like, it's not fully explained, but they did mention all the animals here are genetically modified, and there is kind of like the arc thing. They were all brought to this planet, but perhaps the planet itself has affected them.
Yeah, they said it was something like some mutations could be from whatever they did to make the world livable in, or whatever.
Yeah, what do they call it? The world engine. The world engine. So they took basically like a planet that was uninhabitable, made it habitable. And the whole thing behind this was the Better Earth made this paradise. they're selling people on this paradise, but when they got there, it was this. And I don't know how long it took for it to go down. What they say, like a year after a year or so.
It's currently dying, right? Like
it's currently dying. Yes.
Yeah. It's becoming uninhabitable as the
Yeah.
story goes along.
Mm-hmm. But the Better Earth Company, when they brought people here, there was like the backstory of like it was like a new beginning, and it was like super clean water and you know, pristine nature and all this stuff. But it wasn't that. It seemed like you have almost like a company that's kind of like the company in Terminator. they're kind of like, you know, they're not on the up and up, as we will say. And I like that. I always like whenever you have like a good and a bad, and then the characters in between are the shades of gray. You know, I like.
Yes.
I always like that type of thing, because then at least you know the end point. While they might have their battles on the planet, the main thing is trying to get Better Earth. They're going to have to at some point when they sustain the Earth or the planet, because if they don't, they're going to die, and the planet's going to die as well. So what did you think, Gray, of this first chapter in getting to know, you know, all these characters at once? I thought it was pretty crazy.
I agreed. But still, it's laid out in a very coherent manner. Like Warren was saying, it doesn't feel like it's just, you know, like exposition on top of exposition. Like they're kind of showing you a lot of this. Again, it really plays out like the Omega Man to me. It's still killing me that I can't remember what the stupid Will Smith one was called. But it's the same story.
I Am Legend or something.
I Am Legend. Thank you. I don't know why that was just gone from my brain. But like it's got a lot of the same classic kind of scenes from Omega Man, where Charlton Heston's, you know, like he's kind of the last man on Earth. He's just watching a movie in an empty theater. You get a lot of those effects, so you understand that, like, hey, this thing that they're describing as the Exodus, the thing that's going to save us, this new terraformed planet that will be the new Earth. It didn't seem to work out, and then we're kind of getting that mystery revealed as to what's going on, and you know they're still leaving tons of mystery. Everything is not explained. I am kind of digging the way that they're kind of piecing out the information for us, but man, it leaves a very compelling story. But I don't feel like I was lost at any point, but man, it's just I want to know more. I want to know exactly what happened. And yeah, like you see how advanced this city was at one point, and then it became these ruins. Man, I definitely hope there's a little bit more flashback, and then we get flashback to Earth too, and what was going on to get us here. And man, I really kind of dig the way it fleshes out that story, and the way that we get flashback seems pretty natural to me. I'm kind of digging the way that he was able to weave those in.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they were advanced. Like something good was happening here at first, and I think that, you know, when, like they said, when you bring all these animals in, the advent of the helmets and being able to talk and control like the wardens, you're obviously going to need something like that, because if you don't have boundaries set up, like a giant bear could just wander into the city. You know, and on today's news, you know, little Susie got eaten by a 5,000-pound bear that rolled in and just was like, fuck it.
It's beyond that though. Like, so, you know, fantasy has done warging a whole bunch where it's like, you know, you're controlling an animal, but they make it very clear that there is this global grid that controls all of the animals on this planet, which is just, it's an amazing concept. I guess I hadn't thought of warging where it's literally every animal. It's not just like a dude and his pet crow or whatever. Instead, it's, you know, everything. And man, the idea that this new company would put you through boot camp to do these kind of magic things with this amazing helmet technology, just man, it kind of blew my mind as far as ideas. It's so many elements of familiar things, but combined in this very unique way. It just really works for me.
Yeah. And Rook here is, you know, getting parts for his rocket ship. Like I said, he wants to get the hell out of there. And it leads you to wonder how many other people, just regular people, are there, because the better world left. They left and said they were going to send people back and to get them. But what they didn't really know, which was revealed later, is that they weren't sending people there to get them back. They were sending people there to get the technology back and kill them all. So that, that sucks for them. And we get the relationship as small as it was. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. As little amount of time as we got with Rook and Swine, it felt like you could really tell the friendship that they had, especially when you meet, Swine's pigs and his hogs and stuff, and how they act, and you see the part where Rook is at odds with his animals. He always hears like the buzzing, and he's inner monologuing how like much that it annoys him. And I thought that was a very interesting thing, because the only other one we see so far has a good relationship with his animals. Did that strike you as like, what the hell's going on with that, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, it was complete night and day with the two of them. Mm-hmm. And you notice that Rook, he says that he can still hear the thoughts of the birds and whatnot, and so he has to drink in order to get that out of his head. And and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he finds out that, or as the novel goes on, or the story goes on, you find out that it's a give and take relationship there, and so he's just not opening himself up to that. Instead, he's just trying to get rid of that. He's just just controlling them. They're just animals and whatnot. And then that's completely different from Swine, who's close with it. It's almost like a love relationship. Yeah. It's like kind of like how I am with my cat. That's him with his boar. So one of the things I was going to ask, where he was marking off the doors, was that because he had already taken all the alcohol from the door?
Those are all.
He's like, okay, I don't want to get back into that room. Just that one's already.
Yep,
I already got that one. So
he already took everything.
But I thought that was interesting, because he had like literally an entire hallway marked off.
Yeah, and you get to see like how lonely in existence it is as well. He goes into the movie theater and he's just watching a movie, and it's the end. And he's just sitting there like, shit, man, I gotta get the fuck off of here. I need to get out of here. And where it feels like the other people are there, like you would think if there was a ticking time bomb of this place is going to die, you're going to die, you would try to find, like Rook, you would try to find a way off of there. But it seems like the other people that we meet are not trying to get off of there. They're trying to save the place.
But I think a lot of that had to do with their relationship with their animals.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Mean, it feels like that's where it came from. Warren,
yeah. So I thought that was really interesting, because they had a connection to the animals. They had a connection to the planet that Rook doesn't have when the story first starts. He ends up developing it throughout the course of the story, which I thought was very well done, how that was presented. But it was pretty cool. So.
What do you think, Warren?
Everyone else has embraced their ability, but Rook is like the one who's like, I'm here because I was running from something, and now I don't really care that I'm on this warden. I'm just kind of here now. I'm just trying to survive and get off. And it's really his origin story, because by the end of it, he fully becomes a fully realized warden. He finally embraces it. He finally understands it. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing the origin of Rook becoming the hero of the story in this the first arc of, or the first graphic novel chapter, if you will. And it's just everyone else is like full in. They've embraced it, and you've noticed they hint to this and they show it, but they don't. But they'll probably play on it more. Is that you're not only controlling the animals, the wardens and the animals are starting to mold.
Yes.
Like the spider ones acts like a spider. You know, the wolf chick has very much of the wolf in her. Even swine is kind of like his pigs. So it's interesting to see the symbiosis and how it's the animals are infecting them as much as there's like it was when Rook gets attacked here coming up. You know, he's like the crows are always telling me to run. They're always telling me to get the hell out of here and run constantly. And it's like, you see, it is, I really liked that, how there is a symbiosis to the point where are they even going to be able to do this without the helmets? Which it was kind of hinted to, but I think that was that was not real. We'll talk about more when we get to that part of the story, but there was something that was like directly happened that made you think that they didn't even need the helmets. But I think that was just a vision while he was knocked out. I don't think that was, but it is kind of playing into that. Like, are they melding? Like, is this going to be a thing where he doesn't even need a helmet and he can control crows and the girl can talk to the wolves and stuff along those lines?
So, Gray, you had brought up that we get to, you know, a little bit of Rook's backstory on Earth. And this is kind of where it happens after the movie. He opens up, you know, looks like some photos and stuff like that. And we kind of, it goes back and forth. Like, you know, he goes back to the spray painting thing. But what did you think about his backstory? Because I looked at it as the stuff that happens with his dad and the farm, where he's told one thing, but he believes another thing. It's almost like mirroring with, like Warren was talking about, with him not accepting the animals, you know, his birds, as a part of him. It's almost like if he lets that in, it's going to take him over. Almost kind of like if he believes the stuff about his dad, does it almost ruin that ideology that he had about his dad and what he's actually doing, why he took the job on this planet?
Yeah, I think that's exactly why that's there. I don't think I could have kind of explained that duality that they're kind of trying to mirror in that arc. I mean, it is what would kind of create a person who would be in that position. But man, it's just not the backstory that I would have thought for, you know, it shows us this badass who's willing to take on like these giant creatures, who's also trying to get his ass off of this planet by building his own rocket ship. I wouldn't think that he had like, you know, just a farmer background, but man, still it comes off believable to me, especially after they kind of describe the boot camp situation. I do believe that he would have had training to build this better world or whatever. But yeah, man, I dig it, but it's not the backstory that I would have thought he had. Like I would have thought he would have, you know, been like a child soldier or put in this program because he has some special abilities, but it doesn't seem like that's necessarily what it is. It seems like their tech might truly kind of it responds to your natural ability, but it doesn't seem like magic's required, which is intriguing. Again, I've never kind of seen this whole almost magic and superpower of like working into animals and being one with them. But man, I haven't seen that without the magic, and it just kind of, I don't know. It's opening up these doors that I kind of didn't see in possibility, but weaving his backstory into that, it just kind of makes sense, and I do like that mirroring of kind of his current arc and his former one.
Right, because it's like when he learns to finally accept that even if what happened with his dad happened, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but it's like once he learns how to accept the animals, it's a give and take. He's always looking at them as a nuisance, and until he accepts what they can do and like what he can do together, and it's almost like whenever you had the old TVs with your antenna, you know, and you just got the fuzz and you're trying to get it and you finally get the picture and you're like, there it is, there we go, I finally got it. It's like he has that moment, and whether or not he accepts the, you know, what happened with his father, and like you said, coming from a small time farm, and basically, you know, a corporation trying to buy them out, and just, you know, stuff like that I guess could hinder a kid. But then there's a fire, and he's looking at it as his dad saving people, but we get told later on that his dad is the one that started the fire. So we don't know exactly what had happened and what he believes. You know, we see his angst from hearing it, and we don't know if he accepts it or not. But I think it's really cool how they play on both sides, on the side that you're seeing now and in the backstory. I think it's a very interesting way to tell a story. And it seems seamless too. Like, as much as different as it is, it seems very seamless. And he seems like a very troubled character. And you could see why he would want to get off there. Because like what Warren said, with the crows always telling him to run, it seems like that's what he's doing. He's been running from the father thing. He's been running, you know, from his responsibilities as a warden. He doesn't really want to accept it. And hopefully he gets the relief that he needs, because he's got to be a big giant bottle of angst, because right now he's just a big giant bottle of booze. So, so we get this. This is really cool. Like, so he's looking up, and you could see just how you go from a city to just barren nothingness. You know, just like, it just seems awful. Then all of a sudden, here come the pigs, and he's like, son of a bitch. And the vehicles that they have are pretty freaking dope, I think. I think they're pretty cool. And there we go. That's where we meet actual Swine. We get to meet him. And, you know, this is where they start talking. They drink together, and you find out like it's a totally different relationship that he has with his animals, where they seem to really like him, and he has them everywhere. He takes them everywhere, where it's like Rook feels that his are following him. Like, they're not with him. They're just following him, and always like background noise. And I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll get to the big part here. There's them working on the ship. There's an explosion. And then this is stuff with his dad. And there's the old scarecrow Jesus. But there's the ships, and I think that's Better World, right? I can't remember. Is that them, or is that some different company? I can't remember.
I think I think it's Better World that they're leaving
right.
Earth. They're taking people to the new planet,
to the Better World.
To the Better World.
Better World.
What a great name for an evil corporation. The Better World.
Right.
That's so perfect, because they're doing everything but creating a better world.
Right. So this is where the fire happens 15 years later, and his dad's like, you know, he's older obviously, and he's trying to go in and get his dad, and the Better World people come, and they're trying to buy the stuff, and then they kind of tell him that the fire was set from within, and he's like, fuck it is. He was trying to save everybody. He was trying to save the animals and save the farm and blah blah blah. And that's where it starts. I think this is probably where it starts his, you know, I want to get out of here moment. I need to get out of here, because he's going to run. It seems like he's always running from his problems. Do you get that character development, Gray? Do you feel like that's kind of what they're trying to tell you with this character at this point? Warren?
Oh, sorry. Right as you started talking, my dog started barking.
No, it's okay.
I thought I could seamlessly just give them a cookie and throw it on the other side of the room.
Okay.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. It seems like that's really where it starts. And then, you know, that's kind of where they, again, you pointed out the Jesus pose, but there's certain overtones that they kind of keep giving at you. Same thing with like the whole Exodus ship. But man, I think you're right. I didn't necessarily see it as it was completely mirrored at that point, but yeah, I agree with you. And then you know, the noise, the voices in his head, yeah, just I think you guys nailed it. I think you're interpreting it better than I did.
Well, I mean, I just looked at it as he, like, Johns is always with, from reading like his Green Lantern run and especially his Batman Earth 1 runs. He had 3 volumes of that. Like, there was always like the backstory and then what was happening now, and he always tried to like mirror the two, but it was always something like something happens in the back that you don't really pick up on, and the things around him are the ones explaining it. So that's how I took like the birds are like how they, like Warren said, they're always telling him to run, and they're always telling him to this, and that's what he's been doing because that's what he himself wants to do. He doesn't realize that the birds are actually telling him his actual thoughts. He's fighting.
See, that's the smart interpretation. I just thought, birds, when they hear a noise, they fly away. Like their instinct is to run. So they're doing what birds do. But yeah, I like your interpretation.
And that could be because it like kind of changes whenever he finally accepts them. You know what I mean? Like it kind of, he heeds the warnings from them, but there's also, we're only seeing crows at this point. We're not seeing other birds, so it's, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. That's just kind of the way that I took that. And I could be 100% wrong. I could be wrong.
Well, that's what I'm going to use, even though that I didn't think about that till you said so. So, I like the little smart, in-depth answer. So I'm going to pretend that was mine.
And this stuck with me real big, for some reason. This page stood out to me because he's like a little bit wide-eyed here, and he's getting ready to go on the ark, to go to the new world. And he looks down and he sees the guy with the sign that says, "Don't forget us." So it's like he is leaving what he thinks is the worst possible scenario that he could be in. And he wants to go to better world, because all that's left is hope for him. Right. But then he gets there and it's basically the same, if not worse for him, like not right away. Because when he gets there, it's obviously nice. And, he's like, holy crap, this is it. This is amazing. And then it just goes downhill. And him seeing the birds for the first time and putting on the helmet and just hearing all the noise and he can't understand what's happening is really interesting. Because it's like he sees the crows as he saw the birds from the fire. And he's putting the 2 and 2 together. And it's like, fuck, man, I got to work with birds, which he hated as a kid. And that's why he put up the scarecrow. So it's almost like you're getting what you deserve. Like you're 100% getting what you deserve. What do you think, Bob?
Didn't they say that they picked the animal based on their disposition or something like that?
Yes.
So yeah, it is ironic that he ends up having to work with the birds. I thought that was a nice twist to that he ended up that he hated these things, but now this is the animal he was assigned.
Right, because it's like he puts up the scarecrow and then the fire happens and his predisposition is to the things that he hates the most. I thought it was pretty good.
I wonder if they mean it to be as like also kind of running from destiny. Like he runs from his problems, he put a scarecrow up, and the crows represent his destiny as for who he should be. And he's always been constantly kind of fighting it and running from it. And then maybe that was kind of all part of the scarecrow and with the fire and along those lines was like, you can't run from destiny or fate. And the crows kind of might represent that. He finally accepts his fate or destiny and then becomes the full realization of Rook.
Right. No, that's exactly. Like, because they're setting it up to where, like we said, it's like with the whole scarecrow thing and all that stuff. The bird representing what is his basically worst moment in life, and now he has to work with them all the time. It's almost like he has to overcome that, which you said that is his destiny.
Yeah, you embrace the birds, you embrace all the stuff bullshit that happened, all the bullshit, and become who you need to be.
Right, and become the man that his father wanted him to be. Yeah. And that's like he felt he had to stay, which it was like his dad kind of knew. And if his dad did set the fire, it was like, he's like, dude, there's nothing here for you. There's nothing here. You're holding on. You need to let go. You got to let go.
Yeah. So you burn down the farm and then his son can be set free almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did he start the fire?
Yeah. So he goes over to this is Swine's place, right? He goes over to Swine's place.
Yeah.
And it's like there's trouble a brewing. One of the big giant hogs looks like it's gutted, and it's bleeding. He's like, swine, swine. And here comes swine. He is taken off, and something or someone is chasing him. And we find out that the bears, and there is a lot of them. That's such an awesome page. That would be horrifying. One of those bear claws are like as tall as swine.
It reminds me of the bears on Elden Ring, like just the gigantic ones I hated them more than any other boss in the game. But yeah, it was just terrifying.
It's so funny because you look up here and there's just an upside down. They're just getting chucked all over the place. And here he is. Dude, tell me that's not from Doom or Gears of War. Like,
yeah,
geez.
It is just, it's a gorgeous picture.
Yep.
Really love that artwork.
And it's like he's got swine. Swine is not doing so hot. But that's Ursaw, and he's got like the chainsaw gun, which is awesome, and he's got Swine's helmet in his hands.
Hey, what up, Emily?
Hey, Emily, how are you doing?
There's so many elements of this that are just so familiar. Like you've got the chainsaw gun, you've got like the skull on his belt. Just man, it's borrowing from all these different places. So it seems like almost every version of Doom is kind of being represented at some point in here, but still, like it doesn't feel like it's a straight up ripoff. It's just I dig the way that they're kind of able to bring in these elements.
You know what else I really, really liked about this? And I don't know if you guys even thought about this. Warren, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because of most comics. Most comic backgrounds, you either have super dark or white with like blue. He's using the fiery orange, which pops every color. Like I've never seen brown look so vibrant before. You know what I mean? Like, because you get like Batman comics, it's usually in the dark. Superman comics, it's always in the light. X-Men comics, it's usually in the light or in space. And like, but this, the overtone of the whole planet with the orange just looks amazing, man. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And even like at the bottom where his legs are at kind of fades out, and he's encircled. Great composition on that page. Just right front and center, the way he looks, it's just great.
And that was the end of chapter 1. So we'll kind of go through these really quickly. This is where Direwolf comes into play. She comes and kind of sees that, like, you know, there's some shit happening. And her
costume is
everybody
awesome.
Looks so good, man.
Oh yeah.
I guess we didn't talk about Rook's actual costume, but like it gives a lot of Star-Lord vibes, but at the same time it feels earned and a little bit more badass.
Yeah, no, you're right. I thought the same thing. The coat, especially how they draw the coat, and it's like in the wind, and with the helmet, with the eyes. If they were red, I'd be like, "Hey, you're Star-Lord. You are Star-Lord." But yeah, like her costume is fantastic, and I like that. If you look at her, look how they're showing her. What do you think when you think of wolves howling at the moon? It's the moonlight behind her. And that's the first time we see her as in full moonlight with her wolves and the glowing eyes and everything. It's done so well. It's just done very, very well. And we get, is this where he's like pinging the other?
That other part that he needs.
Yeah. So he goes, tries to get it. He dives down there, and there's some things down there, and a giant snapping turtle. That would be terrifying. Like, I don't know if you guys have a lot of snapping turtles where you guys live, but
I am familiar with them, and I've seen the TikToks, as Will in the chat is saying. Everyone loves Will. But I don't know what would scare me more, giant bear or giant snapping turtle. I think either way I'm fucked, but
yeah,
I think the turtle might have it a little bit, because I think it's gonna, like, it's gonna one shot you. I think hopefully the bear would just like smash you, or I don't know what I'd prefer in that case.
Yeah,
well, maybe with the turtle you got a little bit of chance because it's slower.
He's
That's
just
true.
a hungry little guy. Look at him. He's cool looking.
And just letting everybody know, you should be able to turn, if you're watching on your phone, you can turn it sideways. It should be in both ratios. Just letting you know. It should be in the Mars.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it put 2 of them on the channel, so you can choose vertical or horizontal.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, then there you go. You should be able
The
to.
choice is yours.
The choice is yours. You should be able to choose. That's what I meant. Like, you should be able to choose whichever one you want to watch it in. But so what's crazy with these alligator snapping turtles, man, we have a lot of them where I live, right? So, like, everybody's got like a pond or something. You cannot go in any pond or anything where I live. No swimming hole, because, dude, they will take your toes off. They will. I have a friend who it looks so when he sits down and like in the summer we have shorts on, giant hole in his calf muscle. It's huge, just gone, like the size of a tennis ball. Is just gone.
And like, you know, like tortoises, turtles, they're notoriously slow, but man, snapping turtles, like they are so fucking quick with that like snap, and it's just man, it's crazy.
So that's
screw that.
Terrifying.
They take fingers off, man.
That's a terrifying image to me. It doesn't set well with me. I'm like, fuck that, dude. And it's I don't know if you ever seen like a sea turtle, how fast they are. Like when if you wouldn't think it, but as soon as they get into like the shallow water, they jet and they are fast as fuck. So I'm thinking like same type of thing there. Like they are super duper fast. So imagine a giant alligator snapping turtle jetting at you while you're trying to get away, and all you hear in the background is those damn birds. Like, fuck this. I've had enough.
You're running low on booze.
Yeah, he's running low on booze. So he goes back to the place, gets some pizza, and he starts drinking. And that's when Direwolf comes in. And she's ugly.
Well, since she's the only chick we've seen so far.
Yeah, he's definitely like, how's that wolf Gina coming? But they have the conversation where she wants to know what happened with Swine, and he ends up telling her, but she's the one that gets him to start thinking about leaving Exodus. Like, she's the one that starts like, we need to save this place. Are you in? Like, you know, we have to find the other wardens. We have to find, you know, the world engine, and we have to start it again and stuff like that. If they could get the world engine started, but Rook is just like, nope, no, thank you. I don't want anything to do with this. I want out of here. And he just doesn't want anything to do with her, you know? And he talks to her about the birds and all that jazz. And yeah. And that'd be intimidating, dude. Like you're Rook, right? And your birds are like way up in the air, and her wolves are like right in front of you. Like you have no ground on any conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hit on her. Like, what if the wolves don't like that and come after you? It's like, yeah.
Very true. Very true. And that might be why they're talking with the helmets off. Helmets off for this talk. Don't want the wolves just biting your jugular. So, and that's when we hear a giant boom, and Ursaw is coming.
Bear guy.
Yes, bear guy. And they have a big giant fight, which the fights in this are fantastic. They're modeled great. I love how the panels are. There's not like, they don't take up too much of everything, and each
like that entire page.
Thing. Yeah,
just that layout, it looks so beautiful, and just the way that they interact with the other panels, just love it.
Yeah, because you see like the bears up here, and it's like boom, but then you see him driving right here, and you see what they're doing, and you get the birds and everything. Like, there's so much happening on this page without everything overlapping each other and like screwing up what you're trying to get from the whole page. It's really cool, man. Really cool. Like you said, the layout's fantastic. And yeah, this is where it happens. So they're fighting, and you know, his ship gets blown up. Could you imagine being him at that time? And you've literally worked for how long to get this done? And you're like,
Dude.
you got the last part. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've ordered now 3 sheds off of Amazon. Each one makes it to my state, but it somehow gets like destroyed before it gets to me. And I'm continually crushed. But maybe December 4th, I'll finally get a shed. But so I could just imagine actually building a whole fucking spaceship and then seeing that. Like, I haven't even built the thing yet. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered so that I can build it. And man, I'm crushed. Just Could you imagine putting the time and work into a spaceship?
A spaceship.
Yeah, this ship is his lifeline.
Yeah, it was like everything to him. It was like the reverse Scarecrow to him, dude. It was like everything. Like, it was just, yeah, dude. That's terrible. So yeah, we get the big splash page of that being destroyed. And he's just like, fuck, dude. He's not even paying attention. And she's like, Rook, come on, let's go. And they go, and he's done. I think he's done. He's over it. He's over everything. Still like, we could go back there. We could fix it. She's like, fucking, you dumbass. You ain't fixing shit. You ain't fixing nothing.
I think it might be totaled.
This is where we actually see other people. And this was interesting to me because I didn't know if there was like actual people there, and non-wardens. I don't know if these are wardens or not. I can't really see without my glasses on. So let me see if I can.
It seems to be some
just
mixed
troops
in there.
Yeah,
just
he eventually gives a couple of his guys helmets.
That's right. That's right. He's after all the helmets. That's what it is. Ursaw's after the helmets, and that's right. You're right. Thank you.
I mean, it is better world technology. You can't just leave that behind.
No.
Planet's going to hell.
Well, in one case, one of the people a little bit later on in the story actually was in boot camp. And and I can't help but wonder if this other guy who got Swine's helmet had been as well, that all these people here were people who had been in training to be wardens, but they washed out.
Could be. Yeah.
Because it seems like if you're having to go through boot camp to control it, you can't just give the guy the helmet and all of a sudden he's got complete control of the bores and stuff. He would have to have at least somewhat of a knowledge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they've left a little bit of that mystery so it can be kind of fleshed out later. But that's kind of the impression I took away as well.
Yeah, and I get that impression mainly because of that snake lady a little later on in the novel where when she's talking with Direwolf, she says that I forget exactly what she said, but she makes reference to how you flunked me out and whatnot. And Direwolf's like, no, I didn't flunk you out because of this. I flunked you out because you were letting the snakes control you.
Right. Yeah. And that becomes that specific issue that you're talking about right there becomes massively big in the second arc. Because you get to you see some of the people that quite possibly don't have the willpower or the training, or if they do, they've let the other side take over. And there's a couple of them. So really interesting. So that was the end of book 2. Book 3, that's fantastic, man. That's just so cool looking. They go to the circus, I mean, that's where I would go. I would go to the boat circus, But they go basically, and I think this is where Direwolf hangs out. They go there, and she's basically saying they need to go to the Oasis and meet up with Carapace, who is an older person that has basically a lot of been there for a while, put it that way. And he has a lot of sway and knows the land, knows everything about the land, and knows where to go, knows what to do, and whatever plan. She's trying to sell him on, instead of trying to find another way off the planet, to save the planet, is basically what is going on here. And we get some really cool, that's just incredible looking. That is so cool.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, dude.
And then just you do get a little bit of exposition in there, but man, I want to know what's going on with this beautiful image.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yep. So there's Carapace right there, and he
it
controls.
makes sense. They've got like space travel technology. Why couldn't they have technology that could possibly keep you a little bit alive a little bit longer? Because apparently he's older than you'd think, which good for him.
Yes.
He looks good and virile for his age.
Yes. And I like how he's supposed to be like with the turtles, but yet he has a turtle shell for his. How'd you get that shield there, Carapace?
By the size of the turtles we saw earlier, did you kill one of the babies?
He's like, yeah. Like, no, he was shedding. Yeah, turtle sheds, right. They go in there. It's pretty sweet, man. Like, you just see the turtles come up and they're just armed to the teeth, man. They are fucking armed to the teeth. And we stay here for a while, and they have like this conversation that it's pretty important because Rook is not really on board with this, and Carapace knew Rook wouldn't be on board with this. He was like, of all the wardens that we have, like, he would be the last one that I would really want on this mission, like, because he doesn't really give a shit about the rest of us. He was always by himself. He was always a loner, and where Swine was his only friend, really. And yeah, so this is kind of like the world map with the different wardens here. Pretty cool, I think.
It is. It's a fun idea on a lot of this technology.
Yeah,
that is so gorgeous, that forest.
Yes, because that's also the other thing. Like, so we pretty much have only seen Rook's side of the planet, right? We didn't get to see like the beautiful things that this planet did have to offer, which were amazing looking, right? And I thought that was a very interesting part, that the only forest we saw was, where the bears came out, and it was a bloodbath. And now we're seeing this like beautiful, pristine forest after like they give him this speech about trying to save the planet, So it's like we the reader would be like, well, why would you want to save this place? Like, it's just run down nothing. It's like terrible.
Very
city.
Dead.
Yeah,
and
very
you're seeing
dead.
This and that.
Then you see
that
this.
last picture. Yeah, it's kind of like you've got this, I don't know, special garden that is working more on this. Perhaps again, religious theme, not sure, but dig what they're doing. Yeah.
And then you see the full spectrum of like, look at that dude. My God, he's just destroying.
Pretty
everything.
Intimidating.
Yeah, he is just, he's not making it a better world. He's not. So this is where we kind of get the overall plan of Ursa, and he's got all the different helmets here. He's got all these different helmets. So how many guys has he taken down already? So I think what's smart is that we saw him fight and kill Swine, right? We saw him fight and kill Swine, which was someone close to the main character. And then when we see him again, they're fighting, he blows up the ship. And then we see this wall. So we know he's done things where they didn't have to go and show us every single one that he's taken out. They could just show this, and we know from the fight he had with Rook and Swine and Rook and Direwolf that he is capable of doing this. And I thought that was super smart. And they didn't have to, take a whole chapter to show the backstory of him doing this and laying out his plan and doing all that stuff. What did you think, Gray? I thought this was a very smart page right here.
Yeah, I really dig it. A lot of it, they are giving you context, and they are giving you kind of, some of the backstory, but man, they're not just giving you nothing but exposition. It is in the actual art. Like, I really dig it. It seems like Johns really knows what he's doing with the storytelling in this.
Yep. What'd you think there, Bob? Do you like how they're kind of overall telling the story there?
What this kind of reminded me of, it's kind of like in Star Wars with General Grievous, when he opens up his cape and he's got all the different lightsabers in there and stuff. And it's like, yeah, your lightsabers will be, well, I'll add them to my collection here, you know? And so from that, you see that, oh yeah, this guy's pretty capable of taking out a Jedi here. And that's kind of what you got here, because you see the helmets, there's spots for other ones that he's wanting to collect and stuff. So you kind of get an idea of what his plan is, that he's going after all of the other wardens. So
Warren,
yeah, this is a really cool page.
Yeah, it's just a great way to establish how much more of a badass he is without actually showing him being badass. Like it's kind of like the John Wick, the phone call where Aurelio tells the dad, like, oh yeah, well, he punched John Wick, or he beat up John Wick and killed his dog. And he said, oh, that's all we really needed to know from that point, to know that he was a badass. He's got his Predator trophy room here. And it also, too, like you said, before it was like, okay, was it personal? Was he going after Swine and Rook because it's personal? What's this guy's deal? And then bam, he's like a bounty hunter and he's trying to kill all the wardens. So yeah, it was a great reveal. And it's just more of that show, don't tell, great storytelling. Yeah, Johns is really top of his game. He's a good writer.
Yep, I think so too. And we get more inside Oasis and kind of what they're trying to save. And I can't really see what's happening here. Son of a bitch.
It's the different ones. So you gotta see the spiders, the ram, the fox, different wolf guy. Oh, you're right, fox.
Yeah, there's the fox, the spider, and the ram. So they're showing the different wardens. Oh, this is right. They're going out. They were talking about connecting with the other wardens. They were using that thing to reach the other warden helmets. And I don't know if these are. What's that?
It's kind of like Professor X's Cerebro type deal. Yeah, they're reaching out to the other wardens, and they can kind of talk to each other. And then you get to see these badass guys. Like, I want to see Stag. Man, that dude looks like he's like a samurai with antlers and shit. I want to see what that guy's gonna do. But the Locust, low key, I need to know what the Locust does, because great band.
Well, that is a great band, but also like think like what Locusts have done, like with we talked about the religious undertones. Locusts are
plagues,
always there. Yeah, for the plagues. And then we get a whole bunch of other ones here. So there's the chicken one, the chicken.
I want to know the chicken one. Yeah, that one.
It's fantastic, just fantastic. So, and Rook is gonna put on. He takes off the helmet or something like that. So he knows
he saw Ursa coming.
Yeah, he saw Ursa coming, and he's like, Ursa's here, and there he is. And we see that he gave, like Bob was saying, he gave helmets to other guys. There's someone with Swine's helmet, and I don't know if she's
Python, but I'm assuming since she flunked out, it's probably somebody else's helmet that she's wearing.
And the other guy's having problems controlling the warthogs. He still hasn't, because he's brand new at it. I'm wondering, was that Warsaw's original helmet the bear helmet? Was he always a bear guy, or did he come there just to? I can't remember.
So I can't remember either, but I would say yes, most likely, or he's had training with it, because if you look at the bears, I mean, they're outfitted, you know what I mean, for combat.
It is full on like Dino Rider on those bears. It is awesome. I dig that.
Yeah.
He should be riding.
Did he bring the bears with him, or just the bear armor? It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's true. And that was the end of that book. So we go chapter 4. And yeah, so this is them getting prepared for the battle. And that is just amazing. The birds and the wolves. That is so cool. There's a lot of like planning here, and the turtles are coming up and they're running through the forest. And this is where it starts. This is the big battle here. And that is just, dude, what the
so
fuck
sick.
is that, dude? Good Lord.
Just the way just putting the two panels of the eyes on there, like, man, I would never have thought to do that. Just, I love it.
Yeah,
The
because
layout
it's
in this
also
book is so amazing.
it's also like you got to think Rook as much that when they start playing on what Bob was saying, how will they eventually not need the helmets? You know, he's looking at these warthogs who he was not saying close to, but out of everybody else that was not swine, he would probably be the closest one to them, you know. So because he was friends with swine. So it's very interesting. And then finally gets the birds to attack. And they
that
go.
bird attack, man.
Mhm.
I just love that image. That is just
It's
this book.
fucking awesome. It's so cool. And then Jesus Christ. What? Anybody ever play the Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden? That's what it reminded me of, was those giant fucking
cobras,
snakes,
man.
the cobras.
I hated those things.
That was fun. That's what it reminds me of. And there's just all sorts of people here. And this is just a big ass battle. Like, I don't know. I love this dude. And just every time they show Ursa, man, he's just so menacing. And there's always the bears behind him. So it's like you have the threat of this gigantic person, but then there's the bears. The bears. you got George Wendt and Chris Farley behind him. So the bears. And we get this fight. This is what I think, Bob, you were talking about this with Python and Direwolf. That was their whole conversation. And we get Rook and the guy who is playing as Swine on Swine's helmet. And here come the wolves. And then you see they're just eating the shit out of him. And I like that they don't shy away from it. They're like full on, this is what happened. You know, that's them's the breaks in this world. And he gets the helmet back, which is very interesting, I thought, because now he doesn't even have the helmet on and he's petting the giant warthog. It's like once that helmet was off, that guy with all those bad thoughts, the warthog can go back to how it originally felt. And you could think that it went both ways with Swine, the original Swine. He loved that guy just like Swine loved him. So it's kind of interesting right there, because
you're just wondering how much of the people are wearing off on the animals too. Like
correct,
you know,
correct. Because you'll see later on that one warthog does not want to leave Rook's side. It never wants to leave him. It gets very nervous when he's away from him, even when Rook just has on his Rook helmet. Like that warthog never leaves. And so here we go. We got some more with the wolves. And he's like, "Oh, Snort, where are you going? Don't attack me. Let's go, guys." So there's a little bit underlying here too with Direwolf and Ursa. So they probably have mentioned it in the book, but we haven't gone. Is Direwolf's father. So Direwolf's father is an integral part of what's going to be happening next. Do you remember them mentioning him at all?
Yeah. They did mention that he might have gone a little too hard.
That's right, because that's right. Carapace mentioned that, right? Yeah. He mentioned that to Rook, and you know, not to bring it. Okay, so he also, I think, I can't remember if he has wolves too, or dog. Like he might have dogs or something like that, some type of dogs. But yeah, so this is the culmination of everything. You know, and dude, look how awesome that you were right there. Look at that helmet, man. That helmet is sick. I want to get one of those. You can tell I have a lot of like helmets and stuff. I need to get me a Rook Exodus helmet.
All three of those in those bottom three panels.
Yes.
Ursa's, the wolves, and Rooks. Like, just man, those are awesome helmets.
Yes. Really cool. And I like also how it's like almost like on a bridge type thing, you know, where it's like it's almost like Mortal Kombat with animals.
You got to have wolves, bears, and crows all on a bridge. You know, that's where the fight should take place.
Right, and it's revealed it's on top of the dam, which I believe wasn't that what Ursa was trying to break to was the dam. I
think so, but I can't remember if he was going for like the tech that
right.
He should have reread that part.
Yeah, he wanted to find out where the other wardens were, so he wanted to use the Cerebrus thing or whatever.
Yeah, the Cerebro
thing. Yeah, file thing to find out, to locate the other wardens.
Okay, so I know I wasn't supposed to laugh at this, but I did, because Ursa picks up Rook. He rips off his helmet and he's like, you know what? Fuck you. When he throws him, the birds are like up there with him. They're like, where did you go? What are you doing, you dumb bastard? And she's like, Rook. He's got his helmet. That's just such a great.
Aren't the birds telling him fly that whole time?
Yeah, they're telling him he could fly. Yep. And it's crazy. So he's, falling, and they're telling him, fly far away and stuff. And he finally just closes his eyes, and that's the end of that. So
I was wondering if they were all going to go around his coat and float him down.
Yeah, dude.
I was like,
pick him up and it's like
they like Cinderella him or something. Just, they each grab a little thread.
Yep. So he ends up waking up, and there's the hog. The hog's there with him, and he doesn't have a helmet on or anything, and it's Pumbaa, which I think is great. It's Timon and Pumbaa, and you finally get the actual real size of how big that warthog is. And warthogs are fast too, man. I don't know if you ever watch any stuff on warthogs, dude. They are vicious. They're vicious little animals. And he's kind of afraid of them, but at the same time, he's not. He realizes he's not, and he's got the warthog helmet. He's got swine helmet. And he's trying to figure everything out. And then boom, this dude cannot catch a break. At all. And the birds are retreating. And is that his Rook helmet?
Yeah, that's his Rook helmet because it has that beak front to it.
So the birds, did they get it for him or something? Not sure.
Well, he had it in his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, he had
Apparently,
it.
He had a good grip on it.
Okay, I thought Ursa had it in his hand. Sorry. Okay, so that's interesting.
I mean, if I'm thrown off a bridge, I'm probably letting go of my helmet. I got to be honest. He had a good grip on it though.
It just, to me, I thought it was Ursa had it and he threw him with the other hand. That's what it. That's I can't. If I put on my glasses, it's hard for me to see.
Well, I love this picture too, the slight blurring on it, and then the just the way that they're even doing the text just seems so much like just connection established. Okay, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily important information, but man, with it being almost typewritten and then in that color, it's just coming off so feedback from a device type deal. I dig the choices.
It's one thing that's really important in comics, that everything has to flow together and work together. So you just can't have lettering's not just there for the words, it's also there to help increase the art and the flow and the tension and the emotions of it, well as the artwork and the storytelling. It's all an intricate part of it. And this is where an example, like you mentioned, Gray, where you can you get a feel for what's going on with how the dialogue is being shown with the lettering as well as the artwork.
So this is a very important part. We kind of touched on this. He's yelling at the birds. He's like, no, come back. He's like, you got to show me the way out. He's like, the fire. And that's when he has the flashback to where the birds, he's like, get off me. This is how he hates the birds. Like, just get the fuck off me. Fuck off. And he has his Jesus moment here. And the fire.
Some might say he was reborn in that moment.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. See, he's getting off. He's come down and he's in his memories here, and he sees Pumbaa. And it's I just love this whole thing, dude, because he sees his dad with the gasoline. And it's oh shit.
What
oh
you
man.
doing, Paul?
Yeah, why'd you do that? Why
I can talk to birds now, Paul.
Do you see
man,
this
for
big
the-
giant pig, Pa?
His name's Pumbaa.
Realization,
Yes.
the actual going back to the backstory, but you get to see like a new realization through this new experience of this old memory. Just man, I dig it. It seems like it's weaved in there very fluidly and kind of flawlessly. But then again, I dig a lot of those like I don't know what you want to call them, like crime noir ones where either somebody gets drugged or they get hit over the head, and then you get like this awesome kind of trippy scene. Man, I'm here for it. I think it's a great way to kind of shove some of the backstory in there and that revelation of his father actually pouring the gasoline. Just man, I dig it.
Yeah, and this is interesting because he starts hearing, or Pumbaa's talking to him because he's got the thought bubbles here. And it's kind of interesting. Like we're hearing what Pumbaa is thinking, very interesting. And he follows him out. And that's where the birds are. They're above the fire. And he's like having like a huge realization after all this, kind of like Gray said, and because I love this, man, like skirt. And then it's nothing. He's like, fuck. He's so fucked, dude. Like this dude just anytime it's anything good happens, it's like, what is going to happen next? What bad is going to happen next? And he kind of feels free and stands there with his arms open. And Pumbaa's there with him, and he's having the whole thing like with his dad and what he saw. And his dad was telling the pigs to get out and stuff. And he's like, run. It's so cool how this whole thing is mirroring what happened to him. His getting over it is happening now, but like what had happened to him before is like, with the pigs and the fire and everything like that. It's pretty crazy, man. It's very good storytelling. And he finally starts hearing the birds for the first time, like really hearing with them. And he hears, Pumbaa's telling him fly with them. And he goes off there and has his Batman moment.
But that last panel from the last one where he's just like literally just taking a step up. Like he's not really having a Batman moment there. It's just, I dig it. It's
this is his Batman moment.
It's
right
a
here.
leap of faith, really.
This moment.
For sure.
That's what I was meaning. But yeah, he's taking the leap.
But
of
I just
faith.
dig that one last panel where it's not quite there. But as Warren is pointing out, it's that leap of faith. But he's not full on Batmaning. It's all right. I'll walk off the cliff here.
Yep. And there he goes.
Whee! Comes a man crow.
And he's like really hearing the birds. And it's like, shit, I'm still in the fire.
When I was reading this, I thought I was into the ability to hear all of the animals' voices now. And then the part where he jumps off, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then no, it's all just part in his head due to his trauma and repressed emotions. Like, okay, well, all right.
Yeah. I mean, it's still I mean, it's still very well done as like it's almost like how like kind of in the animated Lion King whenever he sees his dad in the sky, it's almost kind of like that, to where Pumbaa took him through his most traumatic moment and he had no way to get out of the fire because the birds in his had left him. They were actually trying to show him the way out. He couldn't hear them that way. And it's like he just sees everything and then comes back to his senses and they're there. So it's like now he took that leap. Now he's ready. He's actually ready to be Rook.
Yeah, it's
the warden he's supposed to be.
It's a beautiful section. We're showing him coming to terms with what happened in the past and then also accepting his role now. So yeah, it's a beautiful section. But
I'm being honest, like I was with you whenever, like I thought the same thing.
Oh, I was so excited.
I was like, he can hear him. Like he's hearing his thoughts.
Pumbaa's here forever now. Like Pumbaa is now a side character. This is awesome.
Well, he ended like it would be cool if we got to hear more of his thoughts, but he totally is like going forward, like his number 2.
But then he's finally able to get some relief from this once he makes that realization. Hey, it starts to
Yes.
rain. Now the fire is letting up.
Yes, he's got one good thing,
dig
and
it.
I like how if this is very symbolic, where the crow lands on Pumbaa's head.
Yeah.
And it's like he's got more than one, friend. So we get to the last chapter 6, and there's all this stuff going down with all these other people, and they're making their way towards what's his name, Ursaw's little rolling base there, and then boom, here they come. Here come our heroes. Here's Rook and the birds. And he is ready to have his face off with Ursa, which I think is great. And there she is.
I also get like some awesome Mad Max vibes in this. Just
totally.
They're pulling from everything that I'd love and just kind of tastefully putting it together.
Yes. And I think, isn't this where he's trying to figure out where her dad is?
I think so.
And
I believe that's the wolf that he's looking at there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't he connected to her father in a past?
Yeah.
Something like
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something like that. But I totally forgot his name. He's the Bloodhound. He was the other dog.
Yep. So then Rook is, making his way through the guys, and they're going to have their big fight here. So.
And this is Rook, who's fully accepted who he is and ready to kick ass.
Yes.
But there's two giant bears behind him.
And there's 2 giant bears behind him. He's like, yeah, well, and look how, dude, like you said, Doom meets fucking every post-apocalyptic awesomeness that we like, all in one page.
There's also like Warhammer in there. Like that's so close to everything from there's just, man, so many awesome influences and done tastefully.
Yep. And we're having the fight. And look how big Ursa is, dude. Jesus.
Basically manhandles him.
He's fucking huge. He's like a Street Fighter character come to life. And he's got the helmets off, but he still has, the birds are still with him, which is cool, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where the birds are just like, fuck you, bears. They're just done with it. They've had enough. Go ahead.
For everything else growing on this planet, how come the crows aren't like huge? They seem average crow size.
Yeah, all the animals should be rideable size. That would make this
indeed.
Like at least one crow. It's just.
Have
really
we met
big.
Master Crow yet, though?
Who
knows?
I don't think so.
Might have to visit
maybe.
like the crow's nest. Might have to visit it. I don't know.
So we met this guy who seems to be the leader of the crows, and he seems to be down for the cause.
Yeah, he names him, and he finally fully embraced everything. And
so I thought this was kind of neat, like how it was raining and everything's happening here, and he's looking at him and he's like, it's basically like it's a new day, and then boof. That's a perfect.
Named him Poe.
Yeah.
Yep. They called him Cameron Crow. Like, there's a bunch of crow names you can go with anyone.
He's just gonna call
Russell
him
Crow.
Yeah, he's gonna have Russell and Russell. But this is like a perfect panel right here. Just the devastation around. And the birds in the background and the light coming through the sunlight. And then there's dead Ursa. They start talking about what they need to do next. And this is where they start actually talking about the world engine and stuff like that, and going out and basically Direwolf and Rook are going to have to go out and find other other wardens. And the end is where we see her father, because they're talking about her father, because they're talking about the world engine. He's the only person who can get the world engine back online. And it's really cool because he's the one who actually let or maybe not let, but the other side took over. He's completely taken over by the dogs, and that is him. You can see like his fingernails are all overgrown. He's all hunched over. He's wearing fur, and that was to be continued in the next volume of Rook Exodus. So
I'm wondering, is he fully taken over, or is he evolved into something new? Like, that's what I'm wondering in the future of this. Is like, is he actually like Beast, or is he something new where he has a different level of attunement with them, along those lines?
Well, you can find out if you go to the Lapsed Comic Fan Discord and go to comic section. 7 and 8 are uploaded into there. So
I'm going there right now.
If you want to read them, you can read them. They're in PDF form. You could just left click on them or on your phone, turn it sideways, but so overall, man, we'll go opposite way now. Warren, what's your overall thoughts on this? Did you enjoy this? Was it a fun read?
Oh yeah, A+ series. It is exactly one of the reasons why I love Image so much, is because Image allows creators to create and doesn't really get involved too much. So you get to see all of this really cool, wild stuff. And it's a great series. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad that I'm into it now. I mean, the only downside is it takes a really long time for it to come out, but that's just because, it takes a long time to create sometimes. So I love it. Top notch. Highly recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, 100%. Gray, your final thoughts on Rook Exodus Volume 1?
I'm almost gonna again echo like everything that Warren said. Like it really kind of was a throwback. It reminded me of why I dug Image Comics before. I dig superhero stuff, but I feel like I know kind of everywhere that they could kind of take those now. And I don't know, seeing something it's really kind of taking full advantage of what you can do with the art of, a comic book, the way that you can kind of stack up these panels, the way that you can do some foreshadowing. You can definitely have themes, but on top of that, it is that show don't tell, but it's not going to take like a montage. You can do it with a couple of panels. I guess that's the comic version of a montage, but man, watching like true artists work on this, man, it makes me want to get back in. I know I've been sleeping on a lot of Images stuff, but this really gets me kind of, it just makes me want to go back. There were so many classic ones, and I just dug what they were able to do and where they were able to stretch it without going into like the cape shit. I dig this type of storytelling, and I can't wait to see where it's going. But even if it just stopped right here, it's like, okay, that's a really satisfying book. I just dig it, man. And beautiful art.
Yes, sir. Bob, what was your
I liked this. Again, I'm not much of a comic guy because it's been so long since I've been in them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still have a fondness for them. It's just it's not something that I do very often. And reading this was very easy to do. I was very engaged in it. Again, we've all talked about the artwork. It's breathtaking. I mean, it looks awesome. Yep. And it like I said, it was a very it's an easy digestible story, but there is a lot there. I think you said at Lunchbox that that it gives you just enough to where what's going on, but you can tell there's more, so you want more and whatnot. So like Gray, I felt satisfied at the end of this, but I'd love to see more of this world, because this was kind of cool. I liked this.
So one of the main reasons why I didn't have other people on, I wanted Bob and Gray. This is a comic where you don't have, as Warren righteously puts it every time, you don't have 90 years of baggage or continuity or like, what else can you do? Like, Gray, you already know where it's kind of going. This is something new. It's on the ground floor. It's good. And you could just get in on it and enjoy yourself and not have to worry about what someone else knows, or hey, I didn't read this, I need to read this backstory. Like Bob, except for the 2 newer issues, you know everything everybody else knows, you know, and now it's something that you could follow if you enjoy it, you know, and you can actually go out and order a book if you want to. You know, you can go on eBay and get issue 7 and 8, and you could be fully up to date with everything. And if it's something that you want to follow, you know, it's not something that you have to invest in every single month, because it's going to be 6 issues at a time and then take a break. And then when it's done, 6 more issues, something like that. So I think that's really smart, especially with a lot of the Ghost Machine books that started at #1, and he started something all brand new, and not a single superhero, not a single cape in the bunch. Well, Geiger does have a cape. Sorry, he does have a cape, but it's a completely different. It's not a superhero, put it that way. Yeah, I think it's a great, easy book to start on. If you've wanted to get into comic books and you're afraid of getting into like a superhero book, you could easily get into any of these Ghost Machine books at issue 1, and you're not going to be so overwhelmed because it's brand new. It's all new.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool and smart. And I really dug this. And after the next 6 books come out, we'll do another one on volume 2, which I think will be a lot of fun. But our next show, I believe, is going to be movie oriented or franchise oriented. So what I want to do is, with our guys here, I want this show to be very interactive. This is the main panel of people that I want on the Friday show. And even if we add someone, or, if someone can't make it, but these are the guys, and we're going to start collaborating ideas. And I don't want them to just be my ideas and everybody just have to, watch because I don't watch nearly as many movies as, say, Bob or Gray. And I might not know, I don't know nearly as much, but I will go and watch them. But I would love to do some like franchise tiers, stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. I thought the MCU tier list was a lot of fun. It took a long time, but it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Like 50 movies in there or something?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Entirely too many.
It was a lot. So, me and Gray are going to kick around some ideas, and hopefully Charles will join us on some shows, because, I love talking to Charles. I think he adds
Everyone loves Will.
Will's so cool.
But I think he adds a really great perspective on things that I don't think. Then that's what I want, because I want all of us to have our own ideas out there. The Pet Cemetery universe. Ooh, boy. I don't know if I've ever.
Sometimes
I think I might have watched.
Better.
I think I've watched one Pet Cemetery.
Oh, but what did you watch the right one? Because
it was.
There's only one good one.
It was one where they had the house and they buried the cat, and then the cat came back to life. Right.
I think that happens in like all of them. But
it was Pet Cemetery 1. I know that.
Did it have the dude who played Lurch, and was he with this awesome like Maine accent, like sometimes dead is better? It's amazing, man. I love that.
Was it a small?
I'm sure you watched the classic.
A small girl who died.
Yeah, was it Gage? Do you remember? Was it a really creepy kid who went for the?
It was the 1989 one.
Herman Munster. I am so sorry. I screwed that up. I called him Lurch. He was Herman Munster. I deserve to be killed. I'm sorry.
It was definitely the 1989 one. My wife is really into horror movies,
so they just remade it recently.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen a lot of them. I just might not have been paying attention. So, but Pet Cemetery, I know I've only seen the one.
But that one, it's a classic. It's got the kid from Kindergarten Cop in there. It's perfect.
Yes, he was in. Yes, the girls have a vagina and boys have a penis kid, right? Is that it?
That's the one.
Okay. See, I remember something. And what's that? The other one, what was it? Children of the Corn, with that one young kid who was like a crazy preacher person. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Is that the made-for-TV movie?
There's various versions of that one.
Was that the one with Christopher Reeves? No, I'm thinking of someone else.
No.
That's Children of the Damned.
Children of the Damned, Christopher Reeves, yeah.
What's the one with Balky Bartakamos? What is that? Is that not Maximum Overdrive, is it? Think of the children. The children. That whole thing, like that was freaking hilarious.
I love Maximum Overdrive. It's such a good movie.
That's where they're stuck in like the gas station for a while,
right?
And
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio Estevez. That's right. Yeah, we might have to do. Maybe we'll rank. Maybe we can do a ranking of.
Do we have to rank some Estevez?
Some Estevez or Stephen King made-for-TV movies.
That would be awesome. I kind of love both of those.
Yeah,
Estevez would be great too. Estevez would be great. That would be great.
Just saying, Mighty Ducks S tier. I mean, dude, Gordon Bombay.
Men at Work.
I love it, but I understand why everyone hates that. But come on.
I love Men at Work. I think it's hilarious. Loaded Weapon.
Oh, Loaded Weapon's so good.
You don't think it was the bullets? It's my favorite line of like any movie. you know, I used to play it all the time on my videos. Just, you don't think it was the bullets? I just love it. Love that movie. But you know what would be fun? What would be fun is ranking Leslie Nielsen comedy movies. That would be fun.
Oh yeah.
That would be an interesting one. That would be good. But yeah. I don't know. We'll have
kind of bad ones. I'd be interested to see where you guys rank some of those, like Dracula Dead and Loving It. Like, it should be great. It's Mel Brooks, but
it's horrible.
I still like it.
The worst one is 2001: A Space Travesty. I don't care what anybody says. That is by far the worst. If you can find it, have good luck. But my God, I went through a phase where like I bought everything that he did, and like 2001: A Space Travesty makes Dracula Dead and Loving It look like Young Frankenstein.
I still like Dracula Dead and Loving It. I don't think it's a great movie, but just for some reason I like it. I don't know why. I just do. Another Leslie Nielsen one that a lot of people forget about because he's not really the main star is superhero movie.
Oh yeah.
That's
Scary
another
Movie.
one.
Scary Movie 3.
Yeah,
dude, he's great in Scary Movie. He has like there's like two scenes. My favorite Leslie Nielsen movie is Wrongfully Accused. I think Wrongfully.
I was gonna say, what about like Spy Hard and Wrongfully Accused and like those weird ones?
The first 45 minutes of Wrongfully Accused, I think, is comedic gold. I think it's fucking perfect. Kind of falls apart after that, but the fucking speech about aliens in Scary Movie 3, when he talks about how like there was a mix up in the kitchen and they shoved stuffing up its ass and they ate it for the presidential Thanksgiving dinner. And he's like, and that's the last we ever saw of it. Then he stops and then he goes, scratch that. There were sandwiches the next day. It just gets me every time. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but it's just.
He plays it straight so amazingly. Man, that dude was so skilled.
Wait a minute here. This makes Pet Cemetery 2 look like Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. What? Is there a movie called Pet Cemetery Bloodlines?
It's the newest one. That's the latest trend. You bring a horror franchise back and then call it Bloodlines. We just got that earlier with I'm forgetting it. Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. I did.
But it's a trend. Like, I don't know why everyone's doing that. Stop throwing Bloodlines in there. They also did it with Pinhead, whatever that one's called. I'm blanking right now.
Oh, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Bloodlines.
Was that one Bloodline also?
I believe so.
We'll have
I happened to skip that one, but I believe it was Bloodlines.
They should do that with all movies, like Downtown Abbey Bloodlines, like friggin'
just everything.
Minecraft
Milo and Otis Bloodlines.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Google document, and I'm going to give us all access to it. And we'll put a bunch of ideas in there, and then we'll like on a Monday or something, so we'll know what we're doing on Fridays, so we'll have time, and then we can also say at the end of each show like what's coming up next week. So
deal.
Everybody will know what we're doing, and it'll be fun. And
I
think we'll have a good time doing that. He says, 15 franchises lean on the Bloodlines or Resurrection. Yes, Resurrection for sure.
Alien Resurrection was pretty good though.
For sure. Did you ever see Resurrection?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually called Resurrection.
I believe so. It's like Resurrection exclamation point Resurrection. I could be wrong, but there's like a
no stigmata.
Jesus TV movie or TV thing. Yeah, I saw it. I might still have the videotape of it.
I know Mel Gibson's working on a sequel to The Passion of the Christ called Resurrection.
Yes. We were talking about that for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like 2 parts.
Yeah,
like a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is they're supposed to release one of it like one of them around the Easter time, and then the other one like 40 days later or something like that.
Yeah, it's not going to be very long.
Of course, it would be 40 days later.
I mean,
I mean, he did that, on purpose.
On purpose. Yeah, that's fantastic, though. That's fantastic.
What I'm curious to see,
once one of them closes, you could release it 3 days later. Either way, the 40 days kind of works.
Well, what I'm curious to see is because that movie's coming out around the same time that The Chosen is releasing a film specifically on the crucifixion of Jesus. That's supposed to come out like earlier in the month. I don't know if y'all are familiar with The Chosen, but that's a pretty big show. And there's season 6. They're actually doing the resurrection in a movie format, and that's going to be released
I've only seen
around Easter that same year. So I'm interested to see when you're having 2 films come out around the same material. Now, granted, Mel Gibson already did, the Passion of the Christ with the crucifixion. So this is going to be a little bit different material, but I'm wondering if one will cannibalize the other.
Well, I think it, like we've talked about with the Passion thing, I think it's supposed to be like him and well, as the Bible says, when he went to hell, as what it was to him, as what it looked like to Jesus. So, and I know that, in the Bible, it talks about when he was being raised from the dead, a lot of other people came back to life, like just random people. So, and he was bringing souls out of, what we call it, limbo, I guess, because Satan wanted the souls and he was bringing a bunch of souls out. So it could be, very interesting. It could be just very interesting.
Yeah.
You're saying you think it will be a Jesus zombie flick? I'm down.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
I know I saw one report where Mel Gibson said they're using AI in some kind of new way for their special effects. So it'll be interesting to see if that affects the overall, like, is it going to cause people going to reject the film or cause controversy, let alone the fact that he's doing a Christ film about him going to hell and the resurrection. It's going to be interesting to see how it does, because the first movie did insanely well, and we are on a Christian uprising right now.
House of David. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
In the entertainment area.
Good.
I like House of David.
I
just did a review of that over on my channel. The season 2 was pretty good. I'll tell you what, some of the battle sequences in there, I would put up against any big budget production. I was surprised how good it worked.
I didn't see season 2 because it was on the Wonder thing. The Wonder.
Yeah, I purchased the Wonder Project just to see it.
Well, that's. But I think the rest of it's done.
The rest of it's supposed to show up on on regular Prime at a later date. I just don't know when it's going to be.
I wanted to wait till it was done because they have it like a 7-day free trial. Because my mother.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, so my mother, she loves watching that stuff because obviously. So we watched House of David season 1. I was surprised at how fast it came back. Like to turn over, because it was high quality. It wasn't like, like public broadcasting presents. You know what I mean? It was very high quality. So I mean, that'll be interesting to see. I liked season 1. I thought it was done really well.
If you like season 1, I'm curious to what you think about a lot of the battle sequences in season 2. Because some of these, like I said, I would put up against any big budget production.
And just the story of David is very interesting.
Yeah, one of the things that I liked about season 2 is that it focuses on an area of David's life that doesn't get touched on, and that's his journey from shepherd to warrior, basically.
Right.
And so I thought that was cool.
So in the Bible, what had happened was he led a bunch of armies for Saul, and then once Saul had figured out that he was the one that was supposed to take over, he made him do a whole bunch of feats because he wanted to marry his daughter. So then it was you have to kill 100 men by yourself, and he came back with a giant duffel bag full of heads and a whole bunch of crazy things until he had to basically say, okay, I get it. And then what happens with David and Saul is very interesting. How that whole succession of king come down, because David was God's chosen, and then David does some really messed up stuff, man. He does some really he sends his best friend out to war and sleeps with his wife and gets her pregnant, and then fucking's oh, you have to hurry up and sleep with your wife, and he's like, I cannot sleep with my wife while I'm at war for you, king. He's like, God damn it, sleep with your goddamn wife, just do it.
Shiva though.
And then oh god. And then he won't do it, so he has him killed. And it's God damn it, dude. You were in God's favor. How dare you? How dare you?
And then you get weird punishment for that, oddly. But good times.
Yeah. I mean, at least they're not doing the story of Job, Good Lord. The Job story. Jesus. Good God, man.
Walter brings up a duffel bag full of heads.
Yes.
8 heads in a duffel bag. Good movie.
It actually wasn't heads. It was foreskins.
I thought it was heads.
I mean,
no, it was foreskins.
I like to think that it's Joe Pesci with a bag full of,
That's
heads.
even worse.
But
that's even worse.
I don't want a sack full of foreskins, but a duffel bag full of heads,
It's really funny. So that you said that. I think I said this one time. Maybe I did. But so I was on my PlayStation. And they always have advertisements for games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was an advertisement that was for Fortnite, and it says special fantastic foreskins. But the way it was written,
it was
fantastic, but then foreskins. I was like,
I wonder.
Wait a minute.
Are they stretchy? Do they have the superpowers or?
Imagine you had to do that, and you're I killed this guy. Damn it! It's how did you get all of them? Shut up! I'm not gay. I swear. Just cut off a bunch of turkey giblets and was I did it. Well, I guess that's as good a place as any to end the show, right?
I don't know how you top fantastic foreskins.
I don't know either.
It's just, that's a good one. And good night.
Yeah, we don't top that one.
All right, guys. Well, I'll put out a post on here what we're going to be doing next week. We'll all gather and figure out what we want to do. But yeah, if you guys got any recommendations and all that stuff, we'll put it in the Google document. It'll be a lot of fun, man. We're going to have more fun here every week like we always do. And I think this will be a good time. So, Bob, where can everybody catch you, and what do you got going on this week?
You can find me over on my channel at Bob Loves Movies. Also, you can also find me on Dad's Turn to Talk channel, but the main show is now actually live streamed on my channel. We're doing the live stream there, and then we're posting clips of the live stream over on the Dad's Turn to Talk channel.
Cool.
But yeah,
cool.
So but we're actually doing the live stream over on at Bob Loves Movies. This week, we're actually going to be talking, like I said earlier in the show, planes, trains, and automobiles. It's going to be a Thanksgiving themed episode, so it should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, you can find me here on Fridays and on the MSK show on Mondays.
What was that last part, Bob?
The MSK show. You can find me over at the MSK show on Mondays. So,
yeah. So, Gray.
Yeah. So I've recently taken a slight step back from the MSK. So I still will be on there, but I've at least halved my normal rotation to go ahead and work on some of my own content. I just feel a lot of internet criticism has gotten it wrong, and man, it's just going into this whole beating on each other, just parroting the same things, and it feels like people are not actually watching it. So I would like to make some content on that. So in order to do that, I've taken a step back from one of the days on MSK's show. But future content on my channel soon. Hopefully collaborations with Charles and a few other people soon. But if you just can't get enough of me, there's also Thinkers every Thursday on That Darn Kidda's channel. That's about all I got going on. What about you, Warren?
What day are you missing on that one on MSK?
Sadly, Wednesdays.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man.
You're gonna leave me alone, man. Don't leave me alone.
No. Well,
I mean, you can always take a step back. You know, that is an option.
On YouTube at Lunchbox Comics. Later tonight, you can find me questioning my life decisions on MSK's show with Full Nettle Nate, MSK, and whoever else in his barrel of friends he wants to bring in. Saturday, I will be doing some artwork and drawing on my YouTube channel. Monday, I should be going back to gaming. I'm working on getting issue 4 done, so some of this stuff is just like it's either stream or do 10, 12 pages. I have 70, 60 it lettered. So everything's kind of tentative right now because I might just hammer that out and get it done. But I do plan to go live tomorrow and doing some art on my YouTube channel. It'll be at 8 o'clock at night, Pacific Standard, Western Coast time. And then you can find me sadly alone on Wednesdays on the MSK show with by myself now. And Tuesdays I will be drawing also on my YouTube channel. Mostly I'm going to start drawing from my drawing table, drawing actual fan art and some physical medium, 11 by 17, and also a 7 by 10 comic book backing board. The boards that come in the sleeves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like to draw on those and frame them up. So I'll be doing some stuff on that, and also some 11-17 by 17 Bristol boards, getting my inventory built back up with some fan art and stuff along those lines for shows next year. So that'll be some of the stuff I'll be doing when I do live stream art on Saturdays and Tuesdays. And gaming will be I gamed for my PS5. I did enjoy it. The comics show up there. The only difference is you can't do like the thumbnail till after you're done and set all that stuff up separately in YouTube. But aside from that, though,
what I did, Warren, is whenever you're streaming, just go to your thing. I don't know if you have YouTube Studio on your phone.
Okay, I haven't tried that.
If you do that, that's what I used to do. And just upload the thumbnail,
and then you can just do it while the stream's going on.
While the stream's going on, just hit edit or whatever, and you can do that. Yeah, that's at least what I used to do.
Batman Arkham City. Me and Laps have talked about possibly going into Space Marines, which I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and cool. Also I've picked up a game called Where the Wind Meets. It's a online co-op or single player free to play online RPG, open world RPG. And I just cracked into it the other day. I'm going to play some more of it. If I really like it, I'm going to keep going, and I might start streaming that as well.
Is it on Steam or is it on?
It's on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. I downloaded it for my PS5. It's all free.
Okay. Too. Let me know again, and I'll do it, and maybe I'll join you on those days. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'll just be background noise.
And I definitely would like to go through a campaign on Space Marines, because I think that could be a lot of fun.
It is. So. It's cool. It's very cool. I would love to do that too. Well, that's awesome, man. You can find me here because I'm not going anywhere. sometimes on the MSK show on Saturdays. It just depends on if he read the book that week, or honestly, half the time, like it's late for me, so I'm like half asleep sometimes, because Saturday's like a very lazy day. I'm not really doing anything, so I usually just fall asleep on the couch. So there's that. But I have been working on, it's been hard since I screwed up my knee here, because I can only like turn this way and this way, can't really stand up or do anything. I've been working on a fighting fandom for why can't I think of it? The freaking Ironheart, the freaking Riri Williams show.
Why are you putting yourself through that?
Oh, have you ever watched the fighting fandoms?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll send it to you. You got to watch them. You'll see why.
Oh,
you'll
okay.
see why I do it. It's more just like a fun, like me making fun of stuff, because I don't really do that on my normal channels. Like, so but I also have 2 Lapse Comic Fan episodes done. I'm working on a couple bat bits. I want to get those done first before I release the full episodes. And then me and Gray will be working on a couple of ideas going forward, but this is gonna, the last panel is gonna be my main focus. I wanna do as many of these I want to keep Friday as much as possible, just because I like what we have going on here, and I think it'll open up, once we get all of our ideas together, it'll open everybody up to something new. And I understand that rage bait sells. I get it. But I want to be the opposite of that. I want to talk about stuff that I like, because I couldn't imagine like literally watching shit that you hate constantly, knowing you're going to hate it, and then go, I want to talk to 17 other people about what we hate. It's like, good Lord, dude. It's just no.
Well,
no.
I will say this. Since I've been doing this, I've learned that building an audience with positivity, or like something that you like, is a much stronger audience than one built on drama. It just takes 10 times as long to build. Yeah, a lot longer to build one. But what you do build is built on something a lot stronger than just rage bait. So
Megadeth, that's who. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing from here on out, and reading. I read comics every day, and I'm working on a big video idea, and it's something different than I've ever done before, and I think it'll be cool. I'm not going to give any Faith No More. I see that comment down there. It's no album of the year, though, right?
Just saying. Okay. It was a great album.
It is. It is a good album. We might do some more music stuff too, but I think the next big thing that me and Gray are gonna do is we're gonna talk about some comedians, which will be a lot of fun, I think, on a different night. But yeah, we'll get some new stuff up, and we'll have a lot of fun. And thank you guys as always. This show would be nothing without you guys and the chat as always. I love the chat. Love you guys. And yeah, this is as much fun as I always have doing this, and I would love for this to get bigger, but I'm just happy talking with my friends and talking with the people that are in here. So live long and prosper and all the other things. Scissor me Xerxes.